Here we go. We're about to run out of fuel on these main tanks. We haven't quite made it all the way up that I wanted to. We're going to get close. And they are out. So throttle down. And we're going to attempt to release them. Yep, they're released okay. And now I'm going to release this bottom one. And now I'm just going to give the next level just a gentle burn. There we are. You can see it's blowing that fuel tank away, and we're moving slowly away from these parts here. We have just about made it into space. We're in orbit. And that's where this monopropellant now comes in. So I'm going to turn the RCS on. And what that does, it allows us to use these RCS thruster nodules to rotate us and move us around. So let's see what our orbit's like. Oh, it's a nice curvy orbit. Well, I'm going to add a maneuver here, and this is how we do it. So add a maneuver there, expand it out, just zoom out, see what we can see, expand, there we go, and that will get us an orbit of 142.73. I think that would be a nice orbit if we can achieve that. So that's that maneuver locked in. Now we need to go to staging. It says we've got 58 seconds until that maneuver, and there should be a little blue, there it is, a little blue crosshairs on the globe down here. And there we go. Now you can see these two tanks are monopropellant. We probably didn't need to, because we've got 1,500 units, and we've used, you know, not even 20 units so far, but that's probably added to our weight of this vessel, but we're alright at the minute. And what we've done, we've lined ourselves up ready for this burn. Now according to this, the estimated burn time for this engine is going to be 27 seconds, but we'll see about that. Right, I've actually missed the node of the burn, so we're going to start the burn. And it's estimating 5 minutes. So let's just have a look at the orbit map, and what happens is that this orbit will move out and out and out as we continue to burn, and hopefully it will match up with that there. So let's see if I can do that. It's quite a long burn, so what I'll probably do is skip forward a little bit. Right, as you can see, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to make an orbit. It's going to be, I think we're going to go into the planet before we manage to burn the full burn. So let's go back to our staging. Yeah, we're in the atmosphere now, so what I'm going to do, we'll just turn the craft around, slow ourselves down as much as we can, ready for a landing. The heat must be horrendous for these guys. I'm just trying to keep the craft in a stable position because it would be nice to land it. And if a mission doesn't go completely to plan, you can do one of two things. You can try and land it and then try another mission completely, or you can revert back to your launch. And what we'll do is we'll press here and we'll revert the flight back to the vehicle assembly, which is a really good feature. So we're going to have to give it another go. Right then, so here we are. back in the vehicle assembly. Now this ship, it did get us up high, but we didn't get into orbit as quickly as I'd liked. Well, we didn't really get into an orbit properly at all. Now I don't know whether it's because that motor underneath I attached, this one here, wasn't powerful enough to do a quick maneuver. I don't know. So I'm going to try something more powerful. Oh wow! Oh, I've just seen these ones are really powerful. What we'll do is we'll take the medium one. We just took the not so powerful one off. We put the medium one on this bit because we were running at 220. We're now going to be burning at 650, and we've got some here that go up to 1,500. So what I'm going to do is just pop this whole assembly back onto the bottom there, and I'm just going to come down here and remove those engines, and we're going to put these even more powerful engines on. So symmetry mode, there we go. So let's just check. Middle engine wants to be down with all the other engines. They're the side ones. What? I think that one's that one. Those ones are. You hover over them, it highlights them in green which one they are. It would be nice if the game made it a little bit more obvious which one you were highlighting, but I think we're okay. Okay, so we've upgraded the engines to more powerful ones. It means that they will burn through the fuel quicker, but I think that might actually help us out here. So I'm going to save that, and off we go. We're going to have a launch. Right, so again the craft just about holds together. Turn the throttles up to maximum to start, and 3, 2, 1 launch. Okay, now these ones are much more powerful. You can see that we're thrusting into the sky very quickly. I'm going to have to turn that SAS on, and the engines are actually overheating. I'm going to have to dial back the power a bit. There we go. We've dialed back the power now. In fact, it's pushing so much that our ship is slightly warped. But we're okay at the moment. I think we've actually broke a strut. Yes, one of the struts is broken on the craft, but hopefully we can get into the atmosphere before that really matters and ditch that part of the engine. The boosters are now about to go, so let's drop them. Don't drop them before. There we go. And away they go. You can see now where we have broken one support. Hopefully, though, that won't affect us too much, and we'll continue this burn up into the atmosphere. Now, I think that top tank is actually disconnected because we've lost the availability of that fuel, so that is a shame. Okay. Because we lost the availability of that engine, it has now completely fallen off and we've gone into an uncontrollable spin. I'm going to have to cut the engines, and I have no idea what we're doing here. I think we'll have another go at that. Revert the launch. I think the craft is okay. It was just a little unfortunate that we broke ourselves at launch. I think we did take off too quickly, so I'm not going to give us full power this time. And launch. That's much more gentle. We haven't broken anything. There we go. So now we've took off. I'm going to slowly increase the throttle. SAS on. We're starting to overheat, so I'm going to bring the throttle down a little bit. There we go. That's better. So there you go. We both learnt something there. Don't put complete max power on if you're using really high engines, because they will just tear your vehicle apart. Hopefully we can get up there in orbit, and if we get a successful orbit, then we'll move on to a few other things. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's much better, much cleaner. So, now we've just got a bit of a burn up into the sky. I'm going to bring us over a little bit. Try and get some sort of arc on our prediction. Let's see, our orbit prediction so far is tiny, but as we race up, that is getting lots bigger. Middle engine's gone, so it's just the forward side ones to go. Okay, it's coming up towards the last part of the stage of the burn now. We've just passed over 1,000 meters a second, and we are getting close to space. I think, yep, I think that counts as space now, pretty much. I'm just going to bring the spacecraft right over now. We're going to try and just start a bit of a curve on our flight path, and they are spent. Okay, so first things first, let's have a look, see how we're doing on the orbit. Oh, that's a nice big orbit. Right, I'm going to start a manoeuvre in a bit, but let's go back to staging, and first we have to disconnect from these tanks and engines. So first of all, the side ones, away they go. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit of throttle on as I detach the lower section and activate the space engine. And we're just going to blast slowly and gently away, because if you don't do it slowly and gently, you can make these explode. There we go. They'll fall back to the planet. But we're going to now work out a way to get an orbit going. So I'm going to start a maneuver here. Like so. There we go. That's going to be an orbit. Looks like quite a nice even orbit. Nice and high above the planet. Let's see if we can do it this time with a stronger engine. So first things first, let's get the RCS on and rotate the craft round to where we need it. There's the blue crosshairs denoting where we need to go. Oh, slow down, slow down, slow down. There we go. Cool. I must say I am really enjoying this game so far. I was really looking forward to playing it before I bought it. When I bought it, I wasn't really disappointed. My only bugbear with the game is it takes so much of my time. You seem to try to do things over and over again, and you know, sometimes you need quite a few attempts, and each attempt can take a while. But the new feature they've added with this revert to launchpad and revert to vehicle assembly means that if you've decided, no, I've messed this up, you can go back to where you were without waiting for things to finish or anything like that. So now we're just waiting for this burn, and we're going to see if we can get in orbit. Speed the game up using the controls, because whilst we're not burning, it's reliable enough. And this is it, full power. Now according to this, it's just 1 minute of burning with this engine, and we should be able to see an effect on our orbit already. We want the blue line to match the yellow line as much as possible. You can see as we're burning, that blue line's expanding. Let's see how much fuel we're using. We are using quite a lot of fuel, but I think we're going to be there in plenty of time. Approximately 1 minute to go. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice orbit. Or it should be by the time we finish. And you can see there on the planet, there's the first craft that we took off. So when you put stuff into space on this game, it stays in space. So you could actually just get a nice little space station orbiting round and round and round. And you can dock with it. You can upgrade it, add modules, transfer fuel. Right, here we go. Can we center on Kerbin? There we go. Focus on Kerbin. I'm going to look from top down. Ish. And we're going to go... There we go. That's an orbit. So now we just want to wait until it's about exactly where we want it. I'm not going to use the timer on the other screen. There, that's where I want it. So we're orbiting. Now we're going to cancel this maneuver. There we go. That's our path around. There's our ship going round. And that'll stay there forever now. So you can fast forward that. And around it goes. Now the ship that I've built here, the spacecraft that I've built, hasn't got any docking ports, so we can't send something up and dock with it and fly around or anything like that. But we are going to try and get back to the planet now, nice and safe, and we'll try out a couple of other features of the game. So let's get on our orbit map. We are here, so in about 1 minute I'm going to add a maneuver, and that maneuver just decreases us back to the planet. So let's rotate the craft using the RCS to the target. Bring it whoop, whoop, steady. There we go. Get ready for the burn. Fast forward the game until we are at the burn. And according to this it says 38 seconds. I don't know if that's going to be right. Here we are, we're at the burn. Let's go. Now we're at full burn. It seems to agree. And this is slowing us down now. Our orbit is decreasing, as you can see there. And we don't want to come in too sharp, and we don't want to come in too shallow. I think this mark that I was using there was quite good. So let's just go back here. According to this, 12 seconds remaining. 10, 9. Right, I'm getting ready to press X. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. There we go. So now we're going to fall back to the planet. We've still got about a third of a tank of fuel left in this thing. I think the Hellish Craft Mark II was a big success, although I'm not going to declare it as such officially until we've got these 3 Kerbins back to the planet. Speaking of which, let's fast forward and get it back down there. Okay, 90,000, 60,000. Starting to come in now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the RCS before we get into the thicker parts of the atmosphere. And I'm going to attempt to slow our speed down tremendously because we are falling very fast towards the ground. Need to slow our speed as much as possible as we hit through the atmosphere there. We've gone through the real thick stuff. 10,000 meters to go. Really starting to slow our speed now. I want to get that as slow as possible. I'm getting ready to cut the engine and then I'm going to detach it. Cutting the engine. Oh. There. Because we just started... I think we just started to turn that around. 8,000 meters still, and we're dropping nice and steady. Going to speed that up slightly. Let's slow us down a bit more. And we're going to cut the engine and detach. And deploy parachutes. So hopefully we won't land anywhere near the fuel there. And hopefully when those parachutes... Oh, we're going to have a little explosion here. I think we're going to see it. We'll do some explosions in a minute. There we go. And we're floating back down. The chute's opened a little early, I think, but no matter. Just fast forward the game back to the ground. There's a Mark II successful orbit. So only a couple of things left to show you now. We're going to show you space planes, and then we'll finish with explosions. Because in this game, what I've played so far, getting a craft up into space, getting it to do a task, either orbit, connect with a space station, etc., it's just as satisfying as seeing one pile into the ground. In the game, of course. So, back to the Space Centre. Now, in the game, if you're not quite sure where to start, or you want some ideas, not only is there lots of videos online and ideas, but there are stock aircraft and stock spacecraft as well. So I'm going to show you some of the stock aircraft, because these are the ones I find the hardest to build. Just click on load, and I will show you, let's see, the Mark IV Ravenspear. Let's load that, see what it looks like. Oh yes, look at that, that looks good. Okay, and I think we'll launch that as it is, because you can put all different components on it like we previously done. So you launch from here and you end up on the runway, and I bet it's going to be night time, because there is a day-night cycle in this game, which is quite nice, because obviously, you know, it's tracking the sun. You can do night launches if you wish, but I probably wouldn't recommend it if I were you. So I'm just going to fast forward to daytime. No, it's not letting me fast forward anything more than 4 times speed. Tell you what, we'll have a night flight then. So engines are on, SAS on, throttling up. I love the sounds of these engines. The noises in this game, the sound effects in this game are quite basic. Pulling up, there we go. But they certainly serve the purpose. G for gear, in goes the gear. Right, let's see how well this handles. It yaws quite well. Okay, let's try a little bit of a roll. Whoa! Rolling is very sensitive. You just need to give it a slight touch. Oh yes, I like this craft. Very good. Now the idea of these craft isn't you just fly around in atmospheres. You can take them up into the outer edges of space, and you could even launch one in space if you wanted, but you could have one of these, attach it to a spaceship, use a spaceship to get it to the red planet, and then launch this and fly around it. So I've just been doing a bit of flying here. I'm going to attempt to land it, which could end badly. Yeah, over 300 meters a second. I don't think it can go much faster. So let's do a little roll and pull round. Not that much of a roll. Here we go. And I'm aiming for that landing strip. Now you can build absolutely humongous craft, really can. Now, let's put the landing gear down now, or else I'll forget. And let's see if I can land it. Oh no, I don't think we're going to be able to do this. We lost control. I've lost control. Trying to regain control, throttling up. Oh god, that was close. Right, sod the runway. It looks like this particular plane requires almost full throttle just to fly. This piece of land around here is quite flat, so I'm going to attempt Throttling up to get over the building, cutting the engines. Oh, we're gliding. Well, at lower speeds, this plane glides quite well. So hopefully we should be able to come in for a nice little landing here. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, brakes. What? Oh dear. Oh, there we go. It's landed. Well, that's pretty much the game. There are a few other things I'm going to show you, and that's some explosions. So let's take off. Oh yes! What an amazing takeoff that is. Oh, loop the loop into a barrel roll into the ground. And bits of the aircraft go flying off everywhere. Well, gives you a little report there of what went wrong, which is quite good if your vehicle starts falling apart when you're trying to fly it. But let's see how the Hellish Craft Mark II handles in certain situations. Okay, into the space center there. Right, now we want to load the Hellish Craft Mark II. And we're going to launch it straight away. Now, with the Hellish Craft Mark II, you remember on the way up into the orbit, I mentioned that it'd be a bad idea to detach the solid fuel boosters on the side on the way up whilst they were still burning. Let's see how that pans out, shall we? So, first of all, daytime please. There we go. Thrusters and all up to max, and away we go. Right, so we've just took off. I'm going to give it some angle. There we go. And whilst the solid fuel boosters are still burning, we're going to release them. And away they go. Now, as you can see, they've blown off the tops of these fuel tanks, which was never a good idea. Means we've got very poor manoeuvrability now. Especially if we want to manoeuvre it downwards. Okay, I seem to have lost all control. The craft is falling apart. Oh dear. We have a splashdown. Let's try that one more time and see what we can do. So this time, flip. Oh my word. Well, that's what happens when you speed up time before the vehicle's ready to go. Launch parachute. Let's revert that back to launch. And we don't speed up the game this time until it's settled. So there you are. There we go. Okay, I think it's settled. Speed up the time. There we go. Daytime now. And we're not going to power. We're not going to throttle up much. Come on, Larry. Give it your best. This now, the official term for what I'm doing right now is called beggaring about. And you probably normally need a license to do so. So, here we go. Let's fire them. Eject. Way. Uh-oh. Well, there you have it. There's Kerbal Space Program. There's a bit of a review, a bit of first impressions, a bit of how to get a basic craft up there and how to orbit the planet, and also a bit about the sort of explosions you can make. Well, I've been Master Hellish. This has been Kerbal Space Program. I hope you've enjoyed me having a go at this. If you want to see more of Kerbal, then like this video, and if I get lots of likes on particular videos, I might do a Let's Play. So, thank you very much, and goodbye.